I like the fact that you had the topic that you've had today because it's along the lines of what I wanted to ask you.
Right,
The attitude that these guys that we look to as our heroes in the Bible, so you've got Daniel and Gideon and Joshua and all these guys that did their amazing...
I noticed you didn't say Esther. We should be a little bit more gender diverse here, Clinton. We've got to throw some ladies in. It's 2019.
Esther, yeah, that's right. Esther, Ruth, Deborah, let's give a few more. They portrayed great levels of faith, and they did some crazy things. So going up against an army with 300 guys, or instead of 30,000 guys with Gideon, or marching semi-pointlessly around a city of brick walls just to watch them collapse at the end. They portrayed levels of faith that they did that, but they were sent. They were told directly what to go and do. Do we need to be directly told? You just mentioned then about the national campaign of marketing around, and that's my long-term goal. We're not there yet, but we're doing the level that we're on at the moment. There's that little bit of fear that I'm stepping into an area that God hasn't said, yes, that's your land, go and take it.
Okay.
Or can I have that freedom just to go and take it?
Well, I kind of feel like we were all sent in the new covenant because Jesus said go. And so I don't know that you need anything else. I think every place that our foot will go, we have been given. So I wouldn't worry about, theologically whether you are, should run. I do feel like, it's like anything. We've been given everything, but there is grace and wisdom and a rhythm of grace on how fast we should go. So, I always wanted to open Business Greenhouse in New Zealand, but just felt the Lord say, calm down. In fact, the prophetic word for me at the time was, God's got a bridle on you and he's just holding you back for a while. Okay, so he wanted me to go, but yes, he was holding me back to go and launch in that country. For whatever reason, and that could be because I wasn't ready, it could be because the country wasn't ready, it could be for a million different things.
Yes.
So I do think there is a rhythm of grace. I guess the debate then is, how much is our own strength and how much is the favor of the Lord? That's a really big discussion.
Yeah.
My favorite way to find out where there is a grace is actually to go and open some doors. I actually go and push on doors and I just see. So if I can see an avenue in front of me to grow my business, I'll go push on that door, and I'll look the other side of it and kind of see, is there any grace on it? Not is it easy or is it hard? Because if it's going to be God, it's going to be hard in many cases. So it's not about that.
Yep.
It's about whether I get this kind of unction of, is the Lord opening doors or not? Is it the right time frame? Do I get a check in my spirit and so forth? So I would say to you, too many people are scared to go forward because the fear keeps them small. Most people are so scared to run ahead of the Lord that they stay small.
Yes.
You obviously don't want to run ahead of the Lord because you're going to end up in tears. So my favorite bit of middle ground is to actually go and pursue lots of things, but not to be sold out for them, right? So I'm not like this must work. I'm like, I'm going to push this door and see what happens and walk a little bit and, kind of feel it out as I go, listening internally, rather than make some hard and fast thing of it must work. So that doesn't really answer the question, but I do feel like as we do that, we actually get to learn the rhythm of grace. We get to learn how the Lord speaks to us individually. We get to feel his leading. If you never actually go and try things, then you never actually get to learn what it feels like to kind of fall over and stand up and fall over and stand up.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, that answers the next part I was going to say, because it takes a bit of some bold steps. We've got a bit of fairly large financial commitment to step into the next step, and the idea of falling over and standing up, that doesn't scare us.
Yeah, and I mean at the end of the day, that's how you learn to walk, right? When you were a child, a baby. Like we don't, when we have children and they start to walk, the first time they get up on 2 feet and fall over, we don't just look at them and say, well, you're going to be a crawler for the rest of your life, kid. They get up, they fall over, they get up, they take a step, they stumble, they get better, and by the time they're 3 years old, they're sprinting, and they've got a few grazed knees and they've lost a little bit of skin and they've cried their eyes out, but they learn. And it's exactly the same in business. Now, but there is also wisdom. Like if you said to me, I've got 3 technicians and I want to put on 27 more and hope that the Lord brings the work, That's what we call
Yeah.
foolishness. If you've ever read Proverbs, you and I, our names are all the way through it when it says the word folly and fool. We're all the way through that book.
Yep.
There's wisdom as well, and you've got to look at your natural giftings and the resources you've got, and we've got to be a bit more pragmatic about it. Just taking bold steps and it's not going to work unless the Lord shows up is a bit of blackmail, in my opinion. So we've got to look at the dissection between what have I got in my hand, what are my natural giftings to be able to pull this off. God's going to step in anyway, but if we leave it all to him, then, well, he's probably going to use that to teach us another lesson, and not a pretty one.
That's the question. God's always going to step in. Well, I guess that's what we sometimes doubt.
He's going to step in, but it's a fine line because there are plenty of people who go the other way and they put it all on the line, needing God to move, and that works. If God's told you he's going to do it, like go to Jericho, I'm going to give Jericho into your hands. If he says I'm going to give Jericho into your hands, then you don't have to worry. If an angel of the Lord comes to you tonight, Clinton, and tells you in a dream that you'll have 26 vans by the end of July, go and get it done. In the absence of that, be fully careful.
Yeah.
When the word of otherwise I just get concerned that a lot of people are not acting on the word of the Lord. They're acting on desire or impulse or something more sinister. So if you get a word from the Lord, go all out and the Lord will back you. But if you don't, I'd be super careful. Did you know that this show goes onto Facebook, it goes onto YouTube, it goes onto Instagram, it goes onto iTunes, and it goes onto LinkedIn? Do me a favor, would you? Tell more people about the show so that I can spread the message. Love ya. See ya.